Arjo's way of working. Mobility is fundamental to healing, dignity, and independence. The longer it can be maintained, with or without assistance, the better we will feel physically and emotionally. That's why empowering movement is at the core of the Arjo philosophy and way of working. And to make sure we're always working towards that goal, we developed the Arjo Positive 8. The Positive 8 represents our values and reflects our understanding that promoting mobility is key, contributing to positive living, quality of life, and quality of care in long-term care. At its core are 3 key requirements: having the right work environment for safe and efficient care processes, the right equipment to support resident mobility while reducing risk of caregiver injury, and the right combination of caregiver skills, empathy, and approach to ensure person-centered care for every resident. That last point is especially important. Staff caring for people living with dementia or a neurological disorder, for example, will benefit from specialist training. That knowledge, combined with respect for the independence and personal choices of residents, makes all the difference to maintaining mobility and quality of life in a formal care environment. With these in place, the 8 principal benefits can flow, including improvements in residents' physical and mental health, improved quality of life, reduced risk of staff injury, sick leave and turnover, and ultimately, improved care, work, and financial outcomes for the facility. The flow of the Positive 8 is driven by resident and care worker needs. People in a formal care environment need different levels of cognitive and physical assistance. Some residents need guidance to understand their own mobility potential and limitations, what they can do, and what they might need help with. And staff need to be prepared and able to not only deliver the right care, but also to protect themselves while providing it. Our Mobility Gallery is a great resource for making sure the whole team is assessing and communicating mobility status accurately and consistently. It's a simple and evidence-based tool for measuring resident functional mobility, focusing on what the resident can do. Management can use the 5 levels of the Mobility Gallery to better understand what resources their facilities need. It can also serve as a guide for caregivers, helping them choose the right equipment and provide the right care for each person. The Mobility Gallery uses examples of 5 typical people we might find in a care facility and assigns them a functional mobility level, classed from A to E. Albert is our representative for Class A. Albert is able to perform transfers and daily activities independently and can walk with a stick for support. Barbara is partly capable of performing daily activities independently, but may need a little supervision or support. Carl needs moderate assistance to perform daily activities and transfers and to move about. Stimulation of functional mobility for Carl is very important. Encouraging him to take part in transfers and movement can help him avoid loss of function over time. Doris is unable to stand, but she's able to sit up in bed or in her chair if well supported. Doris is dependent on the carer in most situations, especially for transfers and personal care tasks. It's especially important for caregivers to minimize risk to themselves by using the right equipment and methods when assisting her. Finally, there's Emma, who's always fully dependent on the carer for all aspects, either related to mobility, transfers, and personal care. The most important aspects of her care are to ensure comfort and reposition her regularly to help reduce the impact of mobility on her health. Ultimately, the Arjo way of working is about adding value. Our aim is to design, build, and provide solutions that address unmet needs and solve real problems, and to always be there with advice, programs, and solutions that earn your confidence and empower your care.